All right, team. Welcome to another Monday edition of the Hi5 series presented by the DH podcast. Quick side note, you can always find our new episodes Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Um, at least like what I do with some of my favorite ones, like Two Bears, One Cave, all those types of podcasts. I'm subscribing so that right when the new one comes up, I either get a notification or at least for Spotify, I don't get notifications. But whenever I just open up the app, then it's like, oh, here's the ones that were most recently released, and all those guys are a lot better than we are about keeping their uploads at the same in the same day. But regardless, we set a record for listeners within the first 24 hours. Obviously, it hasn't been overall listeners yet, but that initial listenership is incredible. I mean, I had seen half of those listeners before I had even gotten a chance to toss something out on Instagram and Twitter. So I couldn't be more appreciative of the people that are listening or the people that have found out about us from here. So I'm eternally grateful because I'm kind of like bouncing people back and forth because I think at least for our regular podcast listeners, you see a lot about us day to day. But this gives quick snapshots. So one thing I want to start off with, we might as well toss it off. Number one, today is August 24th, but the first one is Earl Thomas. Could you imagine that before the 20, and I can't see super well, but I don't have to see, and also I don't like the glare that was given off, and my computer screen is not good enough to be recording HD quality. So I'm currently looking up webcams so I don't look like I'm taken from a Nokia flip phone, but we'll work on it. If somebody had told me at the beginning of 2019 that before the 2020 NFL season kicked off, you would have Earl Thomas, Jadeveon Clowney, and Antonio Brown, all as free agents, zero chance. Earl Thomas was released. They had said it was due to disciplinary action after fighting with teammates. Usually when you get higher caliber players like Earl Thomas, fighting with a teammate is not the only thing. We'll see it come out, whether it's week 5 or at the end of the season. People aren't going to drop it now because they are most likely, especially players, are brotherhood. And while they may not like Earl Thomas, they still want him to get his money. They respect him as a player and in addition to the brotherhood that is the NFL. So maybe once he gets his next contract, when he signs with somebody, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, so he gets on a squad, then we'll be able to have that conversation that, okay, it wasn't just a fist fight with a safety. What else was it? Because if you get other higher caliber players like Aaron Donald, and shoddy comparison, I guess I'm shooting a little too high here, goes and punches Jared Goff. That might be also a little bad, but you get my point, that there's not going to be releasing. There's just going to be a fine. And, they might post on social media about each other. That's it. We don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think that we're going to see the full extent of this until we actually know what has happened. All right. Number 2. Luka's a maniac. These next 3 are going to focus on, so 2, 3, 4 are all going to touch on the NBA. Luka's a madman. I don't even, there's no complimentary words that I can give him that haven't been already said. But what I like focusing on more is the fact that, like, Kawhi being a robot can't compute right now. He cannot compute what is happening to him. He left Toronto. He went to go play with, on paper, a more achievable of higher aspirations team. Well, folks. What do we have here? That's not how it works. The Raptors are they're averaging over 120 points a game. They are just bombing people out of the arena all night long. The Clippers aren't. It's tied 2-2 with the Mavs. This is going to be an incredible 8-1 matchup. I'm loving it. And I think that if you're not watching this, you're missing out. Because this is a team that should not be an 8 seed. And this is also now, we get to see a reason why they brought 13 teams in from the West and only 9 in from the East. Because they're all so clustered together with talent over there in the West. West has been deeper, whereas the East is super top-heavy when you get your top 3 teams. Let's see. Number 3 is a little bit of an update. We had the first 2 sweeps in the playoffs. We had the Celtics sweep the 76ers. Ouch. First time, the Sixers haven't made the playoff or the Eastern Conference Finals in the last 3 seasons. They've either been taken down by the Raptors or by the Celtics in those 3 seasons. Brett Brown's out, but as my gal Doris Burke put it perfectly, they need to be thinking higher than Brett Brown. They need to be going up that chain because there's something wrong at the top that if you continue to bring in talent after talent and something's not clicking, there's a reason that you're not just bringing in better people. Bring them in. Those are the only 2 sweeps right now. There can be a third. That's if Miami wins tonight against the Pacers. So keep that on your ticker for watch some sports tonight. But Miami doing that is going to be would be huge for them. It's going to just take any devastation out of Indiana whatsoever. They're already having a terrible time. Just finish them off while we're at it. And then from there, we can see that the Celtics and the Raptors will be the only 2 teams that have gone undefeated thus far in the playoffs take each other on. That's going to be an offensive juggernaut. Take the over every time. I promise you. You'll do fine. Let's see here. All right. 1, 2, 3. All right. I think I'm missing my numbers here. Whatever. You guys get it. I don't need to count for you guys. Clearly, I don't know how I have a college degree. NFL needs new testing protocols. Simple as that. Simple as that. And what the NFL needs is better rapid test kits because they are now reporting so many false positives. Well, how does that happen? Well, because they're starting to use they're using a wider range of testers, and so now the only smart and logical thing that they can do is start to narrow down. So start kicking off those unreliable ones, and then focusing more energy on the reliable ones. Or, I mean, I guess if they don't have the bandwidth to be able to handle multiple NFL teams daily and weekly, then you need to just keep finding them. But they're out there. So I'm glad that the NFL is actually taking proactive instead of just saying, well, you guys got all positives. You guys are all out. NFL's playing. NFL is happening. Whether you want it to or not, it's going to happen. I'm going to sit my ass on my couch every Sunday and be super angry about it because the Browns stink. Well, hopefully they prove me wrong. Hopefully Leroy Kelly will not be disappointed. All right, folks, that is it for this episode of the Hi5 series. Please find us on Twitter, find us on Instagram. You already know where to find us on YouTube. As I mentioned at the beginning, Spotify, Apple. We'll see you guys on Wednesday.